Hello, thank you for joining us today for the MTNA eFestival webinar. There's two of us presenting today. I am Amy Immerman. I'm talking to you as the eFestival manager for MTNA, and you also see on your screen Bryn Sowash, who is with a company called Accept It, which you're going to learn about today as well. You may recognize Bryn's last name, Sowash, because many of you are familiar with her father, Bradley Sowash. So yes, father-daughter here. Today, we are so excited to tell you about the MTNA eFestival. This was created to serve membership that lives in geographically remote areas, because many of us do, and we don't have the opportunities to send our students to evaluating festivals where they can receive comments. So we just thought having an eFestival where you didn't have to leave home, you could just stay where you are, upload videos of performances, and have them evaluated by trained and professional evaluators would be a really helpful thing. In thinking about the applications of the eFestival, I went beyond just the students that are living in geographically remote areas. This can also be used for people who are preparing for competitions. Perhaps they'd like a first round of comments before they go to the actual competition. It could be used for people auditioning for music schools, and they can send in and get comments before they do the actual audition. And how about us, the professional teachers? When's the last time we have played for some critique from our colleagues? And wouldn't it be great on our own website if we had comments that we could put about what other people have said about our playing? So although it was originally created to serve members in remote area, the more I think about it, the more it could even help all of us grow musically. So a little bit about how our webinar is going to work today. It's going to last between 30 and 40 minutes, and then there will be time for questions and answers afterwards. If we don't answer all of the questions, I will have them answered, and they will be on the webinar link, which you can access from the members only part of the MTNA website in about a week. We're going to talk about how students are going to sign up and register for the eFestival. I'm going to have Bryn walk you through the application process. We're going to talk about how you might want to apply to be an evaluator yourself. And I think we'll show you where everything is on our website. So without further ado, I'm going to just let Bryn introduce herself to you, and then we're going to take you through the MTNA website and then eventually to the Accept It website, where Bryn will walk you through the application process. So Bryn, welcome.
Thank you. Yes, so my name is Bryn Sowash. As Amy said, I work for Accepted, and Accepted partners with arts organizations across the country and around the world to help them run their application processes, to help them connect with students, to offer opportunities to artists and things like that. So I work, I'm an account manager here. I work to kind of nurture those partner relationships with the universities, festivals, workshops, and folks like MTNA. So happy to be here and excited to show you all, how this partnership will work.
Thank you, Bryn. So right now we're going to take a look at how you can find out information on the eFestival. If you go to the MTNA website, just mtna.org, and log in, and you'll see this in just a few moments on your screen, you'll come up with the MTNA homepage. And once you get to that homepage, you'll see two things. You'll see on the left-hand side, right under where it says MTNA, if you go down to the third thing, it says Programs, and you can click on that. And down at the bottom, you'll see MTNA eFestival, and you can click on that. So that's one way to navigate to the eFestival page. I'm going to have Bryn go back to the homepage one more for a minute. And the second way you can get there is you see this scrolling banner at the top of the page where it's just right in the front center. It says eFestival. And you see all those little red dots underneath. Those red dots navigate to different pages. So you can also just click on any of those red dots until it says eFestival and click on where it says Learn More. So we're going to go ahead and learn more about the eFestival. The first thing that you're going to see that comes up is just a real quick fact sheet on what the MTNA eFestival is. It is an online performance-only opportunity where you can receive a constructive critique from a highly qualified teacher. And it's for every piano student And yes, we do hope to add other instruments in the future, but for right now, since it's a new program, we're going to start with piano solo only. We anticipate adding ensembles and any instrument that our membership desires to have in the future. So again, this is perfect for any student that's unable to attend a festival, whether it's physical challenges or geographical challenges, or just someone who wants another set of ears. It's also great for people with performance anxiety. It's going to work by the pianist submitting up to 15 minutes of videos. And you can do this in up to 8 videos, and we actually recommend shorter videos because it'll be quicker to upload 8 shorter videos than one longer 15-minute video. The performer will be anonymous. The age, length of study, everything about the performer will be anonymous, but they can play anything they want. They have to own a legal copy of the music, and on the applicant's registration form, they have to say that they do have a legal copy. The video will have the name and the composer of the piece, and it will be sent to an evaluator after the application is submitted. It can be any genre of music. It can be standard repertoire, arrangements, transcriptions. It can be anything. We are going to be commenting on musicality. Often the evaluator may not have a copy of the score, so they are strictly listening with a critical musical ear and commenting on the musical qualities of a piece. You can do your video on any device you have, whether it's your cell phone, your tablet, your video camera, so we're not picky, and very many types of video files are accepted. The official launch date for the eFestival is May 15th. So starting on May 15th, applicants may go online and submit videos for critique. Whenever the submission is put in, the student will receive, and I shouldn't even say student, the applicant will receive their comments within by the end of the following month. So if you send videos anytime in May, you will get your comments by June 30th. If you submit anytime in June, you'll receive your comments by the end of July 31st. So that's a little bit more about how, just a broad overview of how this is going to work. And I think now we're going to look at the 2 boxes at the bottom of the screen, and you'll see on the left, MTNA eFestival participants. There's guidelines and FAQs, and then on the right side, MTNA eFestival evaluators. So what I'd like to do next is turn this over to Bryn, and she's going to take us through the application process that your student or you or your colleague is going to go through if you want to participate in the eFestival. So Bryn's going to take it from here.
Great, thank you, Amy. So we have, there are a couple links here on the MTNA website, the guidelines here and the FAQs. So you can click on these to review the information about the MTNA eFestival, and these will take you to the accepted landing page for the eFestival. And so I'm going to kind of change over to that, and we'll take a look at what this looks like here from the accepted side of things. So this is where you will come to begin the application, and you can see here the information that we just went over with Amy is all listed right here. So you can kind of review that again if you'd like to. And when you're ready to kind of begin, you will come over here to start an application, and you will select eFestival. And then for now, the option is piano, but if there are other instruments or ensembles listed, you would select those here. Now from here, you're given a chance to review the guidelines. This just reviews kind of all the basic information about how to submit an application, what is required and things like that. So up here, we're looking at, as Amy had mentioned, if you upload it in June, you'll receive it by, your comments by July 31st. And if we scroll down, you'll see this just includes all the information you need. The video tips and things like that. Here are the accepted formats for your video. Can be recorded on any device. So there's lots of helpful information here. What I'd like to focus on just for a minute here is these 2 steps here, what you need to do. So it's very simple. Once you have your videos ready, or perhaps you have some of them ready and you want to go ahead and upload those, The first step is to create an account with Accepted. So Accepted allows you, to create an account for free. Nothing's charged. To create an account so that you can basically track your submissions. So you can start an application today, or May 15th, excuse me. You can start an application, and then maybe 3 weeks later, when you've finished recording your videos, you can then continue uploading those and then submit. So you will need to create an account with Accepted, and that account should be created for each applicant that is submitting. So if you're a teacher that has multiple students submitting for this, and then you also want to submit, have each student create their own separate account so that they can have their own place where they're communicating with MTNA, looking at their, applications, and even perhaps browsing for other, opportunities to showcase their talents and their skills and things. The second step is to complete the online application and upload the videos. So it's very straightforward. So I will show you here for a minute before we look at the application what the sign up looks like for Accepted. So this is our sign up page. It's very straightforward. You can sign up using Facebook, so that will just connect those so that you can have the same information. But all we need from you is a password, email address, first name, last name, date of birth, just to verify that, we don't have, too young of students submitting, or, they don't have permission from a parent or something. And then you can select your interests. So you may want to have your students come in here and select music, and then they want to come and select piano or select their specific interests. And that basically helps them later down the road if they do want to be using Accepted as a platform to apply to college programs. It's a way for them to find programs that are applicable to them. Once you're done with that, you just create your account, and then you're all set to apply to the eFestival. So I will show you what that looks like here. So we're going to go back to the landing page on Accepted for MTNA. And we're going to select Submit for Piano, this big green button here under Start an Application. And it's going to prompt me to log in. So I can also sign up here if I want to, but if I already have an account, I'm just going to log in here. And before I really begin the application, I am given the opportunity to review the guidelines once again, just in case. And you'll see here at the bottom, there's this red text that says, for any technical difficulties, please contact support at Get Accepted. So we have a team, a support team that works almost around the clock supporting applicants. So if you do have trouble uploading your videos, they're the people to reach out to, not MTNA. So you will want to reach out to Accepted if you have trouble with that. So to start the application, I'm going to say Submit for Piano. And then you'll see here the application is very basic here. We're asking for first name, last name, email, phone, address. You can search for your address and it will find it for you. Date of birth. If a teacher is applicable to fill in here, fill in this. It's not required. Then we'll just click Continue. And now we're given the opportunity to upload our videos. So this is a very simple process. It's like uploading attaching something to an email or uploading something to Dropbox. You will just simply click here to attach media. Now, if you have previously uploaded a file, you will see those here, or you can click to upload media right from your computer. So that will just pull up your computer files so you can attach them. And as Amy said, you can upload up to 8 video files. It could be 1, it could be 4, however you have recorded those. And then you will be asked to fill in your piece information. So let's say you had 2 pieces. We are asking for the piece title, the composer, and then we have piece 2, the title and composer, and so on. So we'll just fill in some information here so we can go forward. And then the final page is just an agreement so that it's the responsibility of you and the applicant to follow the rules and regulations. The fees are non-refundable, and the performer does need permission to enter the festival if under the age of 18. So we just check that. We can continue, and we're given an opportunity to review the application here and preview everything. You can even print this page if you want to have that for your records, but you can also view your application after you submitted. And then if we click continue, we're presented with kind of the final payment screen. So that's the process. As soon as you submit, you'll receive a confirmation email, and then you'll receive your critiques from MTNA by the end of the following month. I'm just going to show you one other thing under applications up here. You'll see if you are currently working on the application, you're able to come in here at any time and click continue, upload your next video if you need to, or fill out some more information, and then you can leave and it'll save. You can come back and continue it again. So you have the opportunity to kind of go back and forth and work on that process over a period of time. So that is how the process works, sort of from our end, sort of the technical side of things and how that will look for you and your students. I will kind of send it back to Amy to kind of recap things.
Thank you, Bryn. So I'm going to answer a few questions that came in while Bryn was talking, and then we're going to talk more about how to become an evaluator. One of the questions I received was, are the videos archived in the system or are they private? They will be archived in the accepted system for a year. We will cleanse them out every year. They will be used for no other purpose. They are private, so nobody else can have access to them. And that is also listed in our guidelines. So I hope that answers that question. If you joined us a little late, you missed when this is starting, which is May 15th. The the website will be live and your students can start applying and submitting videos. I did not mention the fee, but of course everyone wants to know how much this will cost. The fee is $60, $60, and that is for up to 15 minutes of videos. I teach a lot of younger students, and it might be that you do too, and most of my younger students or lower level students are not playing lengthy pieces. And the thought of making one long video or even having 15 minutes of music for some of those younger students just seemed a little challenging. So one of the things that I do is, as my students have pieces prepared, I videotape them. I keep them in a folder on my computer or in the on the cloud, and I just have a folder with each student's name on it. So that might be an idea for you as you've got your spring recitals or other things coming up where students really have their pieces prepared. Take short videos of their pieces and just kind of keep them stored in their own folder until you have either up to 8 videos or 15 minutes of music. And as Bryn mentioned, you can also start an application on the Accepted website. You don't have to submit it. That application can be in progress, and you can continue to add videos. So you can either keep it on the Accepted website or on your own, or even on the student. So hopefully that answers some of those questions.
Looks like we have one other here, if I can just answer it real quick. The question is, if a teacher is registering for the student, can we use one studio email address, or does each student need his or her own email address? And that's a great question. Again, we highly recommend that you have each student create their own account with their own email address, though in many cases that may be a parent's email address. But that keeps things kind of separate for them. So those parents are receiving the comments directly to their email, or to the student's email address, and then they're able to use their Accepted account for other opportunities and resources and things like that. So it is helpful if each student has their own login.
Thank you, Bryn. And that was a great question. And speaking of emails, the comments will be emailed to the teacher and to the student. So providing there is a teacher, we will send a copy of the critiques to both the student and the student and the applicant. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit now about becoming an evaluator, because that's the other side of this story. Besides having what we hope is a really great program to help students get their pieces commented on, we need evaluators, and we're looking at many of you that are watching this today because you are our professional colleagues. So you can do this from anywhere. This is perfect for someone who wants to help contribute to and motivate young students. I shouldn't even say young, any student. It could be me submitting a video for comments, but anyone who just feels like they are good and crafty with their words and can write supportive, encouraging comments, we're not looking to say for you to say everything good about students. We truly want constructive comments, but just in a positive fashion. And there are no ratings. There's no scores, no awards or anything. So this is strictly constructive comments. So if you are sitting out there thinking that you would like to be an evaluator, if we go back to the website, to the homepage on the website, you'll see that there's a whole section for the evaluators. And Bryn's going to bring that up on the page in just a few minutes, so you'll see it. But basically, we're looking for professionals. And actually, I've got to find it on my page as well, the application guidelines. So the evaluator guidelines, you're going to fill out an application. You're also going to sample a student video and send constructive comments in a short paragraph, because we just want to make sure your writing style is encouraging and supportive and what we would want to keep the spirit of the positive comments that we want going to our students. And again, positive doesn't mean you're glowing about everything they do. It's just, we all know we've had really good constructive comments, and that's what we're looking for. From the evaluator standpoint, you will receive an email when you've got a video to review. You have 2 weeks to return it to the website, and you'll actually be watching the video through the Accepted website. You will have your own teacher login, which is free on the Accepted website. So you'll watch the video from your website. You'll also leave the comments on the website, and you've got 2 weeks to return it after you get it. If you are interested in knowing more about being an evaluator, you can look at the guidelines, the application instructions, and there's some FAQs for evaluators on the MTNA website. Some of the FAQs I'll go over here. Basically, who are the evaluators? They're any of us, professional musicians and teachers who have experience adjudicating. If you have never judged anything yet, we probably are not ready to have you be on our team yet, but you can get some judging experience. You will be compensated $15 per evaluation. So essentially $15 for listening to 15 minutes worth of music. And then monthly, MTNA will be sending you compensation for however many evaluations you have done that month. If you are going on vacation or out of contact and you don't want any evaluations for a period, it's your job to let me know so that I don't send you anything to do during your off period. So you certainly can be on and off with this, and just make sure that I'm aware of your schedule. And of course, everything is based on demand. So in the beginning, we may get an influx of evaluators, but yet it might take us a little bit of startup time to get applicants. So it's going to also be based on demand. So you may be apply to be an evaluator and accept it, but there still may be some time, again, just depending on our demand, before you actually get some videos to do. And it will be my hope that I'm not sending you one video, but a handful of videos, so that you've got a couple to do at a time. This is also perfect for people that are mobile, or if they're retired or housebound, or again, teachers that live in geographically remote areas and may not have the opportunity to adjudicate as teachers who live in more urban areas do. So the students will also know who is commenting on their work. So you will not be anonymous to the students, but the student and the student's teacher, if there is one, will be anonymous to you. I think having your name on the comments lends credibility to your comments. And you will be sent videos of all abilities. So I think if you somehow get a video sent to you and you just feel you are not qualified to comment on it, whether it's too elementary or too advanced for your comfort level, you can send them back, but we're typically not going to differentiate between who's getting lower levels and higher levels. We're hoping that if you are able to be an evaluator, you're able to make constructive comments on any level of playing. So I think let's see, Bryn, do you want to add anything about the evaluators from the acceptance?
It's very easy to evaluate and adjudicate things through the accepted system. That's what it was built for. So when a video or a submission is assigned to you, you will receive an email letting you know you have a new submission to review. And you can easily log into Accepted, and you'll just click on the application and view the video right online and leave your comments. So you don't have to be doing anything, with your email. You don't have to be downloading anything. So it's a very easy system to use.
Thank you. I'm going to answer another question, which was, does it have to be video or can it be audio only? Yes, it has to be video, because that's our only way of commenting on the complete musician. So yes, it does have to be it does have to be video. We need to see the student playing, and again, that's our way of knowing that it really is the student playing. But it can be done on anything. I'm doing most of my videos on my iPhone. Sometimes I'm doing it on my iPad. I think most of us have devices, and if you don't have a device, your student probably does, because they definitely have. Most people have some kind of an iPhone or smartphone that can do that. So yes, it does have to be a video. And as far as communicating the title of the piece, if you or your applicant is savvy, you can put that in as a title across the video. If you want to use something like iMovie or whatever software you like, the student can also announce the piece and the composer, or the student can also hold up a sign indicating the piece. So we're not requiring the student to actually speak if there's no comfort level there, or if the student is unable to speak. And when you apply to be an evaluator, there will be a test video, and I'll tell you right now, it's one of the Bach minuets in G by Bach. So you will see a student just announcing the piece, announcing the composer. This student is actually holding up the book that he is playing it from, and that's really important, because the book he's playing from has some notes that were different to my ear from every other edition of the same minuet. So when you listen to him play the minuet, you might just say, oh, that's wrong. But if you look at the edition of his book, you're going to see that's right. And that's something we need to be aware of, that things that we may think are wrong may be just coming from a different edition. So again, don't comment so much about right or wrong, but just constructive comments on musicality and stuff. So I think I'm going to take a look and take some questions right now, and I'm sure more things will come up. There is one of the questions is great for Bryn. Is there a template to use to enter the comments as an evaluator? Bryn, would you like to address that, please?
Yep, that's a great question. So MTNA doesn't provide anything for specifics for the comments. Accepted will give you basically a large text field where you can just type in your comments. In order to keep things organized, they are asking for, to kind of lead each comment with composer or title of piece, so that at least the student knows which piece you're referring to. But other than that, there is no template. You'll just be given a large text field to fill out your comments.
Thank you. Another question that came in is, if the teacher is an evaluator, can the teacher still enter students for the evaluation? And absolutely, because the students are going to be anonymous. On the application, if there is a teacher, that will be listed on the applicant registration. So the only thing I need to watch is that I don't send you your student video to evaluate. So this is for everybody. And again, I think of how many students and how many of our members live in remote areas and don't have any opportunity to have local festivals. And this is going to be a great opportunity for all those people. How many pieces would be sent per month to evaluators? And again, this is based on numbers. And since this is a brand new program, we haven't started yet, it's hard for me to predict. But if I have my goal would be, I'd be sending you maybe 4 videos at a time to do, because I just think it'd be nice to have an hour's worth of music. But again, if I am inundated and have 1,000 entrants, and I might be sending you 8 or 10, and again, depending on how many evaluators we have. But speaking about the potential of having 1,000 applicants, MTNA also may limit the number of entrants. So if we get too many all at once, there may be a slight delay and you might get a message that says registration is currently on hold. Please check back in a month. With any new program, it's hard for us to predict how fast this is going to take off, but we do anticipate that this can be a very popular and valuable program. Again, not just for students, but for hobbyists, for teachers, for people that are competing. So my hope is I'm sending you up to 4 at a time, but again, it's impossible for me to say right now before we actually are up and going. Okay, let's see, another question is, would it be possible to scan in the music so the evaluator can see? Well, I think this would probably not be kosher with our copyright laws. And so we're going to say no to that. We've put a lot of thought into this. And just to avoid any copyright challenges and anything else that might arise, we're going to say no. So by knowing the piece and the composer, the student, you may have copies of the piece yourself. Otherwise, think about every time you attend a music concert yourself. Aren't we already doing a critique in our head about why this is or isn't a great concert, what would have made it better? So you're just going to put on your musical ears and comment. We can, without having any music, we can comment on how expressive it is, the poise of the performer, how musical the performance is, a use of pedal, dynamic variety, phrasing. You know, there's so many aspects of music that we can comment on even without listening to the score. Clarity and control. I can go on, and you don't need me to. I think every time we're at a recital or any other performance, without writing the comments, they're still going through our head about what's going well and what could make this an even more musical performance. So great question. Go ahead, Bryn.
Yeah, one question here from earlier. Do you foresee adding a rating system or point accumulation to provide incentive for students to participate year over year?
We're not anticipating that at this time. Since the evaluators don't have the scores, they can't really be that detailed, and we're not doing this for a rating system. Where I see the value in these comments is, again, if you're applying for a camp music scholarship, or you're applying for a college audition, or you're applying for a competition and they have to, there's a field where you have to list your accomplishments and college auditions. This would be a perfect place to say, I've participated in the MTNA eFestival. Here's what others have said about my playing. And they will have real comments with the names of real musicians attached to them. And I think that would be very powerful. And again, as a teacher, if you have a website or if you have printed material, I think that would be a very powerful way to promote your own self and your own business by saying, not only are you a wonderful teacher, but here's what people have been saying about your performing abilities. I think those would be very powerful to have real comments from your colleagues. So although you may want ratings and maybe you want to do something in your own studio for your students, the MTNA eFestival at this time does not have any plans to add ratings or awards or anything like that. There will be digital certificates if the student wants. So that will be an option when they receive their comments. There will be a little link on the email asking them if they'd like to have a digital certificate of their participation. And if that is desired, they will click it. There will be a small fee for that. And they can have at least a piece of paper with the MTNA eFestival logo saying they have participated in it. So I hope that answers your question. And let's see, I'm going to take a look. Bryn, I don't know if you've been looking at the other question.
Yeah, absolutely. Can evaluators request a maximum number of student evaluations per month?
You know, I'd love to say, of course, you can request what you want. I'm thinking you're saying, don't send me any more than 10 or don't send me any more than 20. Absolutely. Just let me, we're here to work with you. And I'm also feeling like we're going to have a really wonderful pool of evaluators. So yes, if you want to make sure that you don't get more than a certain amount a month, just communicate that to me. And I think that's very, very realistic. And that's a great question. So thank you.
How about this? Do teachers have to be in good standing with MTNA?
I'm wondering who's asking this. What we are looking for professional music teachers. So we are hoping that you are MTNA members. However, membership in MTNA is not required to either participate in the eFestival or to be an evaluator. So I think whatever association you belong to, it's always wonderful to be a member in good standing, but we're not looking for we're just looking for professional people who have good writing skills, who can encourage that next group of musicians become better at the craft that they're working on. And we also see this transcending borders. Since this is an eFestival, this can take place from any country. As long as there's internet connection, you can participate as an applicant, and you can also participate as an evaluator. So we hope you are in good standing, but that is not going to make or break our decision on whether you can be an evaluator. We're looking for good writing and people who are truly interested in encouraging people who are performing.
Yeah, and I believe, you know, students from any teacher can submit, even if the teacher themselves is not. Students can submit even without a teacher. Correct. So there's no teacher requirement for the applicants themselves.
Right. And this is great for hobbyists or even ourselves. I don't have a teacher, but yes, I play. So I could say, hey, I don't have time for lessons, but I'd love to have someone listen to my playing and give me a critique. So great. So Bryn, you've done a great job reading questions on the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So to avoid turning pages, can students play from their own copy, or do they have to show the book on the video?
They do not have to show the book on the video. That is nowhere in our guidelines. They just have to say on the application that they do own a legal copy. So and music does not need to be memorized. So they can use their own music. They can play from memory or use their own music. I think, does that answer your question? Does that answer the question?
I believe so. We have one other from a potential evaluator. Is there a suggested length of the critiques? Is it 1 paragraph or 3 paragraphs? What is expected from the evaluator?
Well, of course, this is going to depend on what kind of piece you're listening to. So I'm just going to say, write what you need to say. And I don't want to limit what you're going to say. I would hate to say it can only be 100 words or it must be 1,000 words. If you're anything like me, which hard to believe, you're just going to write, you know what you want to write, and you're going to write it. And I would not want to put a limit on that. By the way, as an evaluator, you can watch that video as many times as you want. And that's something we don't have the opportunity to do when we're doing live evaluations. So, you know, you can feel free to watch that multiple times, write your comments, and we're not asking you to write a book, but we are asking you to write something that's going to be of value. Always mention what they're doing well and what they could be doing to make it even more musical. So some flattery and some constructive comments would be great.
Great. Thank you, Amy. It looks like we've made it through the questions that have come in so far. So yeah, all great answers, all good questions from everybody.
Well, great. Bryn, it's been great having you read those questions to me. And for those of you that have joined us, I want to thank you so much. Again, this webinar will be in the archive section in the members only page of the MTNA website. And there, I encourage you to go to the MTNA website and read in more detail all of the guidelines and frequently asked questions for both the evaluators and for the applicants. Again, we are opening the applications for applicants starting May 15th. The applications for evaluators are open immediately. So if you have an interest and desire to be an evaluator, send your form in, and you'll hear back from me within 4 weeks. And again, I say 4 weeks because I don't know if I'm going to get 1 applicant or 300 applicants. So again, when any new program starts up, we can just make educated guesses on what's going on. The questions that you've asked today will also be linked to the webinar in the members only section, so you can read the chats. And if you have any questions at all, you can reach me just by emailing MTNA eFestival MTNA eFestival at MTNA.com. Of course, that email address is all over the website too. And if you need to contact Bryn or anyone accept it, when you're on the application website, you'll see the support team there, the website for that too. So I think if there's no more questions, or
I do have a couple more if you're up for it.
Yes, absolutely, I'm up for it.
All right, great. Is when you're considering evaluators' area of musical expertise, is that taken into consideration when pairing them with the repertory for kind of a best match? I'm imagining classical versus jazz versus, what they might be playing.
Not necessarily, but because I don't imagine myself listening to every video before I decide evaluator I'm going to send it to, because that would be a pretty crazy job. So we are just going to send anything to anybody. If you get in, I think what I would encourage you to do as an evaluator is watch that video as soon as you get it. And if you feel like you are not the best person to write your critique, just shoot me a message back and we'll send it to somebody else. But, realistically, for me to take the time to go through every evaluator and match that up with what people want, I think that would be a little work intensive. So I'm just going to hope that most of the people that are signing up to be evaluators are going to be capable of making musical critiques. But definitely, if you're not comfortable evaluating a performance that we send you, send it back and let me know. We'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm. A question then about genre: are only classical selections allowed, or will you accept pop, jazz, for example?
Okay, this is awesome, because I'm hoping I mentioned this at the beginning of the session, but this is for anything. This is really a more casual event. You can do any kind of repertoire. It can be standard repertoire, classical, baroque, classical. It can be arrangements. It can be pop music. It can be your own original composition. It can be anything you want. The only requirement is that it's for solo piano right now. And again, if you joined us later, we do hope to add other instruments and ensembles in the future. So we'll just get it up and running with piano, make sure we know what we're doing on our end and that things are running smoothly, and then we'll be opening it up to other instruments. So any repertoire is acceptable. Period.
Great. Does the video need to show the hands of the student?
Why, yes, it does. I want to see the hands. And if you can, it'd be great to see the whole body so we could even see what's going on with the pedaling down there. You'll notice on the test video that you will see if you are going to become an evaluator, you don't see the feet, but it's Bach and there is no pedaling, so it's okay. But I think if you with pedal, it would be great to see the feet. And in general, it would be great to see the feet. But I'm going to say hands and the keyboard and the person and the upper trunk of the person playing would be a requirement. Essentially, I really want to know that who they say is playing the piece, and we want to see the hands because we want to be able to comment on technique and hand position, and whether they have beautiful expressive movements or whether they look like they're playing with tension. So yes, we want to be able to see their hands on their keyboard. But thank you for asking.
We had another question come in I can answer. Will the $60 cover 15 minutes uploading over a period of time or only for one upload? It's a great question. Students and applicants can submit up to 15 minutes per submission. So you may choose in May to submit 15 minutes and upload those and pay for that and receive your critiques. And maybe 6 months later, you want to upload another 15 minutes. So the fee covers that full 15 minutes up to 8 videos. It's basically each submission that is charged. So when you're ready to fully submit currently, that's the fee that covers it.
Great question.
Another question, how about indicating categories in the future, such as elementary, intermediate, advanced, or even pop versus jazz, classical, things like that, having them list that in the submission?
I think we could consider it, but if I'm thinking of my own students, they play a mix. They play pop, they play standard repertoire, they're playing a multitude of genre. So I think that's a really good idea, and we can, again, we'll see how this goes when it's up and running. And if it seems like it would be a good idea for us to add categories, we can. I get a little iffy when we start saying elementary, intermediate, advanced, because if you've taught out of lesson books, we all know that level 1 in one series is a level 3 in another series. And it's there's room for plenty of discussion there. Mm-hmm. So That's a good comment, and we'll consider it. But for right now, if you are a standard, I only teach classical music, I only want to judge classical music, and you get something that is an arrangement of Hallelujah because everyone's playing it right now, I think you could hopefully still comment on, how beautifully the melody projects over the accompaniment and how expressive the playing is and the beautiful phrasing and the pedaling. And, I'm hoping you can use your classical training to be able to make good comments on anything. But I will restate, if I send you a video and you don't feel you are the best person to critique it, shoot me an email and I'll send it to somebody else. How's that?
Okay, that's great.
Good. Anything else? Any other questions on your end?
No, we have answered all the questions at this point, but as you had mentioned, if there are other questions, if you want to send those in now or send an email, that is available to you. Everything will get answered somewhere. So not to worry if something was not answered today.
Okay. So with that, I think we're done with our eFestival webinar. I would, again, encourage you to go to the MTNA website where you can read in detail all of the guidelines, the FAQs, and hear and really read more of what we talked about today. And we're hoping that you're really as excited as we are, because we are really thrilled. We're just thinking, finally, we've got something in place that's going to can benefit all of our members, regardless of where they live. So thanks for joining us, and I'll say goodbye. Bryn can say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.